Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to film a video all about makeup primers. I wanted to share with you guys some of my personal favorites, ways that I use them, how I apply them, all of that stuff. And I wanted to kind of give you guys an informative video on primers. Maybe you're curious about them, and hopefully this can give you enough information to help you decide whether or not you think some of these would work for you. One of the things I really wanted to stress before we go into this video is there are a lot of people who believe not to prime is a crime, and I don't fall into that category. I actually genuinely believe that if you feel like your makeup routine is working out perfectly for you, you don't feel like you are missing any steps, and you're generally always happy with the way your makeup's coming out, you probably don't need a primer. They're really for specific occasions or targeted problems that you have with either makeup application, makeup longevity, things of that nature. So like I'm saying, if you're pretty happy with the way your makeup is always coming out, you might not even really need a primer. I think most of you guys probably know this, but a primer on the face is something that you apply as the last prep step that you do before you start your makeup application. So it's gonna go on after all of your skincare, sunscreen, and then you put this on right before you start working on your base makeup application. Now, one of the things that I really like about primers is that sometimes they do help keep your skin hydrated all day long, especially if you do have a drier skin type like myself. So for me, something that I would like to wear on a day-to-day basis is gonna be a primer that feels really lightweight, is actually pretty quickly absorbed into the skin, and something that I don't feel like I have it on my skin. I hate the feeling of like knowing that I have a primer on. Some of them are quite heavy. Those primers do serve a purpose in a makeup routine, but let's just talk like an everyday, easy to wear primer that's going to keep your skin moist and hydrated, and just your skin looking really alive and preventing other makeup products from settling into those lines and kind of having the makeup migrate around the face. Two really great ones. A super classic that I've been using for many years has been the Laura Mercier Hydrating Primer. They've redone the packaging, but the product on the inside, well, it actually might be reformulated at this point, but regardless, I love this primer very much. It's just a great lightweight hydrating primer. It doesn't really I'm not gonna make any crazy claims for it and say it plumps out wrinkles and fine lines and things, but it does help prevent the makeup from migrating onto those fine lines in different areas of the face. Kind of helps prevent anything from moving around in the eye area as well as around the mouth. So it's a really great lightweight primer, very hydrating, but not oily in the slightest. And another one that's a little bit more new is from Bite. It's the Changemaker Foundation. Now this one is for normal to dry skin. There's also one that's more targeted for oily skin, which I'm not quite as partial to. This one I really like, again, because it's a really nice lightweight hydrator that's going to, again, just make your skin feel a little bit more hydrated throughout the day. And these types of primers I really like because they are quickly absorbed and you don't feel them lingering throughout the day, and they don't manipulate the finish of whatever makeup you put on top of them. There are also a lot of primers that are targeted towards making a complexion look more dewy. Now, something to keep in mind with these dewy primers is a lot of times they contain oils and they do contain glycerin. This is gonna give the skin a really beautiful, juicy appearance, but a lot of times they can actually make the skin feel a little bit more sticky and tacky to the touch. So that's just something to keep in mind. I personally don't mind that because I do have a drier skin type, and one of my favorite dewy primers that's really just gonna give your skin that gorgeous sheen and just make makeup glide on top of it, because it does have a decent amount of oil in the formulation, is the Lila Bee Aglow Oil Primer. Now this one's really unique because it's a priming oil, but as you guys can see, it doesn't even really look like an oil. It's actually quite milky, which I really like. Something like this is gonna be really beneficial for those of us that have drier skin type. If you have any visible dry patches, any visible dullness, or you just feel like you want your skin to have a little bit more of that youthful, reflective shine to it, that's where this is really gonna come in. The little spit really goes the longest way, and it's gonna be a lot more intensely nourishing for a drier skin type because it's an oil. So it's just gonna help combat and disguise any visible dryness or flakiness on the skin. Another longtime personal favorite of mine is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. This is very unique in the sense that it's a primer that makes your skin sticky and tacky to the touch. Now, the thing that I really like about that is it grips makeup so well and it keeps your makeup in place all day. It's honestly really ideal for the hotter months because it's something that isn't like a standard long wear makeup primer. A lot of times those actually feel quite heavy and mask-like. This one does not feel heavy on your skin at all. However, it is something to keep in mind. It's going to feel sticky to the touch until you put that makeup on top of it. But as a primer itself, you don't feel it on your skin. It's not gonna feel heavy. So it leaves you with that really nice tacky base that makeup just sticks right to, stays in place all day, while also having the ability to feel lightweight on your skin. So this one is my favorite long-lasting makeup primer. This one will significantly increase the longevity of your makeup by a lot. I really, really like this one during the summer when I don't want to have to worry about my face sweating off. Another long wear primer that is probably the most heavy-duty one I've used ever, I think, is the Urban Decay All-Nighter Face Primer. Now, this one is what I would consider something that's gonna be a little bit more along the lines of a traditional face primer. This one is quite fluid when you're applying it, but once it dries down to the skin, it's noticeably more stiff, not dry feeling, but you feel like a primed canvas once it dries down. It's gonna mattify the skin by a lot. And it also does manipulate the product that you put on top of it slightly. I do find that complexion products, foundation, concealer, things like that tend to look a little bit more matte when I am using this primer. The primer creates a barrier between your skin and the makeup so that your skin doesn't have the chance to push out the natural oils, which is inevitably going to cause your makeup to break down faster. So not all long wear makeup primers are as industrial strength as the Urban Decay one. There are some that fall a little bit more in the middle and they're just kind of soft blurring primers that slightly mattify the skin and again will help prevent that natural oil in your own skin from breaking down your makeup. So two of my personal favorites, this one's a classic, I've been using it for years, it's Hourglass's Mineral Veil. Now the thing that I really like about this is it has a nice almost hydrating fluid formulation, but once it sets down on the skin, you're left with a soft powder finish. So it's nothing overly matte, and I find that because it sets down to that beautiful soft powder finish, it doesn't disrupt the finish of whatever you're putting on top of it. The other really nice thing about this one is because of that powderiness to the formula, it helps blur any texture that you have on the skin. So bigger pores, uneven texture that you might have from scarring, it just helps kind of soften that so that your skin looks like it has a little bit of a filter on it, and you'll find that when you're applying makeup on top of it, it just goes on a lot more smooth because of the way that this is formulated. And it just, I mean, once you set it on your skin, you can like literally just run your finger over it and it feels really nice and soft and luxurious. So that one's always been a classic, but another one that I've really recently been liking as well is the Silk Canvas Liquid from Tatcha. Now again, this is one of those lightweight primers that's going to help with the texture of your skin and prevent the oils in your skin from breaking down your makeup. This one I do find is slightly thicker than Hourglass Veil, but what I like about this one is I have the ability, because the formula itself is a little bit more viscous, I have the ability to really push it into the areas that I want to conceal any uneven texture. So I really like the Silk Canvas on parts of the face like the center where the pores are a little bit more enlarged, and I do find that it helps keep the oils on my face at bay. Okay, last product I wanted to mention is a priming stick. This is from Lancome. It's called the Blur and Go Stick, and The way I personally use this is I love keeping it in my purse for touch-ups throughout the day when the T-zone area of my face starts getting more oily. It's just a little priming stick and you can pick it up on your finger, push it into the skin wherever you feel like you're getting a little bit more oily, and it's gonna instantly mattify those areas. But you can also apply this directly to the skin before makeup application, and this is quite thick and waxy, but in a good way, because it really has the best ability out of all these primers to fill in any areas where you have uneven texture. So instead of the skin having dips and divots, you can use this to fill in those areas, and then the makeup's gonna lay down a lot more smooth, and you won't feel like your complexion products are emphasizing any uneven texture that you have on your skin. So this one, I don't necessarily think it's something that you would wanna use all over your entire face. You totally can, but I just personally find it to be a little bit better of a specific like area on the face type of primer. But other than that, guys, I think that's everything I wanted to mention in regards to primers. If you do have any questions about any of the primers I mentioned, maybe I didn't go over something and you're still curious about a specific primer, leave it in the comments down below. And if there's any other like video that you want to see like this where I talk about a bunch of different types of one specific product, please leave a comment down below. Let me know. I would definitely turn this into a series if this is something you guys would be interested in. Other than that, I would love it so much if you guys would subscribe to my channel, and I'd love it if you'd come follow me on Instagram as well, because I'm always on there whenever I'm not on here. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching this one. Bye, guys.